Downtown Las Vegas. We're here at the Downtown Grand. This used to be the Lady Luck Hotel Casino from 1964 to 2006. This was the famous Lady Luck. Well, let's go in now. In 2013, after a remodel job, they changed the name to Downtown Grand. Let's go in and take a look. Well, I can hardly recognize the place. Back in the late 90s, I actually worked here in the casino. I can tell you a story about the Lady Luck in the late 90s. They actually did something that, well, a lot of managers would have never done. Why don't we talk about that? In 1997, one of the managers of the Lady Luck decided it was a good idea that they was going to let Stu Ungar come in and have his own table. They were going to deal single deck to him. He was going to have his own table. Yes, this really happened in 1997. I was actually here when it happened. Let me tell you a little bit about what happened. First off, you have lots of stories going around that are not quite true. Even Wikipedia even has a story in there that's just not correct. You see, the truth is, Stu Ungar had a sweetheart deal with the casino, and it had a lot to do with the manager who set it up. And also, at the end of the session, when Stu Ungar and the Lady Luck parted ways, that manager did get fired. But let's look what Wikipedia says. Wikipedia says that Stu Ungar, he ran his bankroll up to 300,000. And then he blew it all. That's not correct. By the time Stu Ungar left the Lady Luck, he was up about 80 large. It also says that now Stu Ungar was broke most of the time, no doubt, but Stu Ungar had just won his third World Series of Poker. Now, I know he owed a lot of people money, and he gambled a lot in sports and race books, but he had a little bit of money. He had quite a bit of money for his standards, and that was the bankroll he was going to use when he went up against the Lady Luck. So let's talk about what really happened. What really happened in 1997 is a so-called manager at the Lady Luck set up the deal where Stu Ungar was going to have his own table. Yes, they were going to rope it off, his own blackjack table. No other players could come on that table. One other thing, again, it was a single deck. Now, having Stu Ungar playing you with a single deck was not a very bright idea to begin with. But here it gets worse. Stu Ungar was able to pick his dealers. If a dealer came up and he didn't particularly like that dealer, he could tell that dealer to go, and they could bring in another dealer. Now, what are you talking about? If a dealer comes in and the deck's not running right, Stu Ungar could actually say, okay, I want this dealer out of here. They bring another dealer in. That actually changes up the rhythm of the deck. So Stu Ungar had a sweetheart deal. Trust me. Believe me on this. When it came to the 1997 session with Stu Ungar and the Lady Luck, he had a sweetheart deal. Single deck, had his own table, and his limits were a lot higher than the Lady Luck was actually used to. And that really screws things up, because when you got the whole casino at a lower level, and then you got a guy of Stu Ungar's capabilities and he's got a higher limit, well, it just wasn't working out for Lady Luck. And as I said, by the time it was over, Stu Ungar actually beat them out of $80,000, and the manager who set it up, he was fired. That's a true story about what happened with Stu Ungar and the Lady Luck. But even though the place looks totally different and I didn't even recognize anything, it was still nice to walk into one of my old hangouts. And here it is, the Downtown Grand Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, 2016.